Nerf Modulus IonFire review. This blaster is a single-shot breech loader in the Modulus line. Let's get into the review. Included is the blaster itself, the front barrel attachment, the ammo holder, a few darts, and the instructions. Now to the externals and the function in a bit more detail, starting up with the front. Included is this barrel attachment. It pops on and off just like any other in-strike attachment point. This is an in-strike attachment, so it goes on to other blasters with the in-strike attachment nozzle, and this in-strike attachment nozzle will accept other attachments, such as the Modulus Super Elite Sniper long-range barrel, although it is worth noting the IonFire is not really optimized for the larger front barrel attachments. Moving back is the priming handle. To prime the blaster, you pull back on this gray thing. Doing so also exposes the loading breech, which is right here. It only accepts one dart. You shove it on in there, shut the breech, and now you're ready to go. Underneath is an in-strike tactical rail, so you can put on bottom attachments. Pretty cool use of the dead space down here. Moving up is an elevated carry handle. It is a little bit weird, but that's so your hand can slide back while you prime. More on that in my opinion, and then on top of that is another in-strike tactical rail. This little ammo thing is included with the IonFire. This little attachment holds 4 micro darts. It slides on just like any other attachments, but if you wanted to replace that with an optic or whatever, you totally can. Trigger pull is just what you should expect from any spring blaster. The grip is also pretty comfortable. It does definitely look like the normal Modulus grip, and it still has that weird skeleton feel. Overall, pretty comfortable. Not my favorite grip, but really nothing to really complain about, but definitely worth noting. Then all the way back, of course, this is an in-strike stock attachment point, so if you wanted to put on a tactical stock, you totally can. This is the Modulus blaster stock thing. Again, the proportions are weird. The front barrels are weird on this IonFire, so are the stocks. And those are the external features. To operate the blaster, you pull back on the priming handle, you grab a dart, you shove it into the barrel, you shut the breech, and then you can fire it. As you can see, the rate of fire is pretty slow. It's a single shooter, and not only that, it's also a breech loader, so it's definitely cumbersome to load. This is not really the fastest blaster to shoot. Beyond the rate of fire, the firing velocity is a little bit under par right now. The normal elite blasters are shooting about 70 feet per second. It's averaging a little bit below that, which is a bit of a bummer, because if you want a breech loading thing like this, this is sort of trying to fulfill the sniper role, even though it's a pistol, but you can put on the stock, the long barrel, and then it sort of looks like one. Ooh, it's bolt action, I'm a sniper, woo. But then you're shooting slower than pistols and every other Nerf blaster, which is kind of outside of the class parameters of sniper, but whatever. So now to my opinion of this blaster. Overall, I don't really like the blaster. I think this front barrel attachment is really cool. I think the concept of the blaster is pretty cool, but the breech loading is super slow and the performance is definitely under par. This hand grip has to be elevated so you can prime the blaster, but because of that, it looks a little bit weird. And even with the elevated carry handle, it's still very cumbersome because your hand's gonna bump into that. It works if you're looking at the blaster this way, but if you're looking over top of it, like you're actually nerfing, it gets cumbersome to try to get around this carry handle. Since the alternative was likely no in-strike rail at all, I kind of like that they tried it. I personally just don't really like it. I find it cumbersome to use, but you don't really buy a single-shot breech loader to be as efficient as possible, so. But again, it's not really up my alley in how I play Nerf. It's not really fitting into that sort of role at all. It's very slow, it underperforms. It's kind of interesting to use and fun, but as a war practical blaster, I would go towards many other options. And even as a backup blaster to shove in a pocket or whatever, this carry handle kind of blocks it from, you know, being super sleek and small, so that's kind of a bummer. But it doesn't fit any role that I have, again, but it didn't have any mechanical malfunctions or anything, so I can't really complain about it objectively. In my subjective opinion, I don't think I'll be using it. And I also think it's funny that they went super heavy on the white and green, and they didn't really put as much orange in this blaster, so when you put on different attachments like the Modulus stock, which is in the Modulus line, it doesn't cosmetically match the same way, so I'm not really sure what the thinking was there, because it's a Modulus attachment here on a Modulus gun, but it doesn't really look good on it. But again, no malfunction, so I can't really say don't buy this, but you know, I wouldn't recommend it and I wouldn't use it how I Nerf. But again, hopefully my review and firing demonstration shows you everything you need to know whether or not you want to purchase it yourself. If you're interested in purchasing one, there is a buy link in the description box below. That concludes my review. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay tactical.